Good morning, it's Allison from QuiltNCode. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. We are doing a disaster live this morning. I'm Allison, and this is my brother Will with my husband in the background, and it's just the three of us this morning. I guess my smoothies just weren't appealing to the rest of the family. That's okay. I'm going to show you how to make an awesome breakfast smoothie this morning. And so, Will, you can stop squatting now. He's squatting in order to sort of be in the camera. See, it wasn't so bad.
There, if I just stand back a little further.
Exactly. So Will and my mom have been learning how to eat a little bit more nutritiously so that they can lose weight, I think, or something. I think it has to do more with, just healthy eating habits. And it turns out that their nutritionist said that they should eat like I do. So I mean, like, all the beans and stuff I throw into and spinach and they're like, man, we just need to eat like Allison does. And it's like, yeah. So I'm going to teach you a breakfast smoothie that my husband and I enjoy. It was supposed to be our colon blow muffins this morning. I mean, they were the oat bran muffins this morning that are absolutely delicious, but they are so packed in fiber and nutrients and stuff that the family teases me and says they're the colon blow muffins. I didn't have any problems with them, but that's because I eat this way all the time.
And never neglect your colon health.
And never neglect your colon health. So we do.
Colon health experience. Yes, I have reached the age.
Yes, so
where
that's
the proctoscope has become an intimate part of my life.
So that, anyway, everything came out, very, very stellar. So it's all good. So you're healthy.
And no pun intended that everything came out.
See?
Says good morning. And Deb says good morning.
Oh, Deb says good morning. Okay, so you know what? He could go potty jokes all day long. So I'm going to kick him out of the screen. And I'm going to show you how to make a really, really nice, nutritious smoothie. And so I start with coconut milk. I had to make Lanny stop by and get some this morning because all we had in the cabinet was almond milk this morning.
I don't know where the other coconut milk we had.
We had other coconut milk. I know Lanny's in the background going, I don't know where the other coconut milk.
It didn't run for a month.
Right. We lost a lot of food in the disaster. So anyway, it's all good. Okay, so how does this represent the disaster? I was trying to think of that because it was really supposed to be, I had it all set up for the muffins.
Everything that goes into it is representative of our town, and the blender is Helene.
I mean, I even saw an article this morning of, how there has been 100 property owners in Buncombe and Hendersonville alone that have asked for buyout because of their location of this, with the rivers and stuff. And so, okay, so I am going to add a cup per person. Normally I make this for just Laney and I, and at least I think I do a cup. Anyway, I'm going to do it to where I feel like that's where I usually do it, and we're going to be just fine.
Now, if you pour from the other side, you don't have to worry about it gurgling too much.
If I pour from the other side,
yep,
like this, Laney, Will says I don't have to worry about it gurgling. Okay. I think I only do a half a cup. Oh, it's been a while, Laney. I do a cup? Laney's paying attention. Okay, cool. So I've got my cup per person in there. And then I put, it's a banana per person. Yep. And then, okay, come on, open.
Somebody's going to tell you in the comments below that you should open the banana from the other side. I still haven't figured out how.
Yeah, I have trouble with bananas, period, so. Okay. And so it's kind of nice that everything's on the counter here ready to go for me, so I can just sort of move it over when I put it in there. I always forget something, and so Lanny and I are going, okay, did you put in? Did you put in? Did you put in? Did you put in? And then
different consistency.
And then these are going to go to my chicken. The banana peels will go to my chickens. So my chickens also get a very, very healthy breakfast. Okay, lunch this afternoon when I get home. So it is Saturday. I get to go home a little bit early. And then what we're going to do is do a brand new chicken pen. So, well, okay, we're going to map it out. And it's kind of cold out there. It's a little colder than it was supposed to be today. And so when I go to give them the chickens the peels, I don't like them to have the stickers. So
Jeremy tried to get us to eat the stickers last night on the green peppers.
oh, so our son made dinner. He's been making dinner almost every night this week. And last night he made us fajita. Oh my gosh, they were so good. He made us fajitas. And the fajitas, Lanny says in the background that he almost left the sticker on the peppers. Oh my gosh, it was good. Okay, so this is a coconut sugar. I've just discovered coconut sugar. It has a sort of molasses taste to it. So not, I mean, like barely. Like and it is supposed to be a very low glycemic type of sweetener. And so I love it. I mean, I don't like much sweet anyway, but it gives the shake just a little bit of an extra oomph. Okay, so here's where everybody laughs at me. And that is because I am doing flaxseed. I do the milled flaxseed, so it's already ground up for me because otherwise you're going to need a high-powered thing to grind your flaxseed, and you really should grind it before it goes into your system or roast it or whatever. And so I get a big huge bag of it ground, but then I keep it in the freezer. And so that's a key too, because flaxseed can go a little on the not tasting good side. Rancid is what the word is. I know the word. I just was like not so good side. Rancid is. Okay, so
one tablespoon per.
1 tablespoon per person. I put 3 bananas in there today.
And you
but
put
you know
2
what?
tablespoons in.
And 2 tablespoons, but I'm going to split it amongst the 3 of us. And then I'm going to do the same thing with these lovely chia seeds. These chia seeds, my husband really gives me a rough time about. You know, I am the type of person that I can eat watermelon and just swallow the seeds and I don't even know it's there. I don't even know that. My husband, on the other hand, spits out every single seed. I mean, like, seriously, who does that? And so these don't bother me at all, but they bother him a little bit. And so probably,
like okra. They end up gooey and sticky and...
Yeah, he doesn't like it at all. So he's like, they ended up gooey and sticky and yeah, whatever, just swallow it. And then
they get stuck.
Oh, he says they get stuck. Whatever. Okay, so it doesn't happen to me. He's just so picky. That's where my children get it from. Okay, so and then I'm putting in imitation vanilla. I'm just doing the vanilla to help with whatever is left with any. Anyway, it just tastes good, and I usually put in about a teaspoon of that. And I eyeball everything. I am much more like, just like patterns for a quilt, I am much more of a guide person than I am a recipe person. I mean, like, this is my own concoction because I add chia seeds and flaxseed and beans to everything. Okay, and then we have, and I'm not joking, my husband's laughing in the background and he's like, yep. And kale. Okay, and I add kale and spinach to everything. And that's why you're so healthy, honey.
And that's what's in this scoop.
And so this is protein powder. It is organic protein powder. I'm 99% sure we get it from Sam's. And I'm not picky. Like, it's just protein powder. It's not... It can be very expensive, but this lasts us forever. And this is the least expensive one. So, you know, maybe we're not getting exactly what we need to get out of it because it's the least expensive one, but it's protein powder. Okay, and then the last thing is I top that off with ice. And I usually fill the cups that I'm going to be doing this for up with ice. And I also use my crusher on my I have a crusher on my home refrigerator. I don't have one here. And
It'll be okay. The Ninja can handle it.
oh, the Ninja can handle it. So, and I think I've max filled it a little bit too high, but
No, you
that's
haven't.
okay. I'm gonna stuff it down a little bit.
Ninja can handle it.
Ninja can handle.
They're going, yeah, you can have it
Yeah.
keeping over the top.
Yeah. Will says it's gonna be fine. So okay, so Will is gonna take this into the back, and Lanny is going to mute his mic.
No,
I mean,
I'll
oh, Will's gonna mute his mic. Lanny just
you
gets to
forget
sit
that?
here. Okay, wait a minute. Did I forget something? Oh, I forgot the cocoa. Thank you. See, I even had it all lined up here and still forgot something. See,
well,
Lanny and
it
I.
wasn't lined up there anymore. It
Yeah.
had fallen.
So this is just regular unsweetened cocoa powder, and I do a tablespoon of that too. See, you just need a tablespoon.
I will admit, when I saw that on the table, based on the fact that we had fish a couple of nights ago, I thought you had brought the Old Bay.
Oh, okay. So Lanny says in the background, if you didn't get to hear that, we had fish the other night, and I used Old Bay seasoning, and so he thought because this is a different container than we usually get. I think I usually get Hershey's. That he thought I was bringing the Old Bay in. Okay, you might have to make sure everybody's screwed in right. There you go.
Looks good.
Looks good? Okay, okay. Now I'm going to move everything out of the way as he hops over everything. And then I will show you. Oh, I got to go get my.
Those glasses.
Say again?
He's going to need those glasses.
Oh, he is going to need the glasses. I don't think I'm awake yet this morning. I mean, all week long I don't have my watch anymore. I've lost it. I lost a customer's little project, and so I'm working on that. And then I'm like having a week. I think it's just the Christmas spirit has just gotten into my head, and I just want to be Christmas spirity or something. Okay, let me move all this stuff out of the way. So, or we're just still like covering from everything, which is a possibility as well. So what this represents is that I had this all like figured out.
Clean work surface, too.
I had a clean work surface, and now I don't, and I'm sitting here going, okay, now what does this represent? Okay. Well, we did have a bit of a fright over the week, and that was that we had a nice, good rainstorm come through, and that rainstorm dumped a bit of rain overnight, and it was not just me. It was a bit of a PTSD thing, because the other thing that happened was that in much of the county, the power went out again, and so it didn't go out for long, like a couple of hours. And it did at our house. It did like this freaky on-off thing, on-off, half power, on-off. Thank you, sweetie. And so we were, anyway, there was a bit of a PTSD thing going. And so, just the whole, anyway, so it was, yeah, rough. So where does how can we relate our smoothie, I'm going to need another one, babe, to our disaster? Well, we're throwing it all in there and then blending it all up. Oh, look at that. That's what the hurricane did. Oh, okay, wait a minute. I got to taste it first. That extra banana in there, really nice. And those bananas need to get used anyway.
Where's the kale?
Didn't put kale in this one. So,
Well, I guess I should undo myself.
no, yeah, it's Will just asked where the kale was. Didn't put kale in this one. I stuck with the flaxseed, and you've got plenty in there, babe. You got plenty. It's all good. So, yeah, cool. Okay, so our project for this morning, I wanted to finish. Can you bring me my bag, honey? It's on the other. Thanks. I wanted to show you my finished project with my bag. And then I also wanted to start a new one. So I am making a quilt for Lucy. Lucy lost her home in the flooding. And so I'm not making a bag, I'm making a quilt for her. And so Lucy came in and picked out her fabrics. And I am going to use this is Thagador. I know it has only one strap. It's because I'm going to show him how to do the rest of it. Lenny's like handing me going,
You're saying finished. You know,
it is almost finished. Okay, so here's what I did. It's almost finished. I wanted to kind of show you this part so that you guys could be able to finish it on your own. So there is one side. Here is the inside. So what I did was I placed it in and then I stitched around the top, turned her inside out, and when I finished turning her inside out and making sure that everybody was good, like I go through and make sure all the seams are good and before I close this up. And I didn't have some seams that were good. So I went back in and it happens quite frequently with me to have to go back and re-stitch some. I know what the problem is. I haven't had my coffee this morning.
Oh, it's done brewing. I'll go get some.
That is the problem. Okay, I haven't had any coffee this morning. And so now all I do is just a little, I fold that in and then do just a little top stitch. It's on the inside. No one's going to see it. No one's going to ever know. So that's how I finished this bag. And now I've got my strap. You notice that I have these fold ups on the inside of my bag. So I'm going to turn the bag this way. And one of the things that I like to do is to hold this in front of me, and I'm going to hold it with my seam side up. So here's where I folded my strap. So I'm holding it with that side up, and then I just bring my hands together, and that gives me the exact way I want to have my handle. And then I can stick it through here. Stay. And I'll give it a little pin. And then I can stick it through here. Oh my gosh, it's precious. It's absolutely precious. And then I will, oh, look, I have coffee and I have an awesome chocolate banana shake with tons of wonderful good things in it for me.
It's a smoothie and a crunchy.
I like it.
Ice doesn't usually stick to my molars.
Okay, whatever. It's delicious and just swallow.
I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying that's not ice.
Just swallow. Yeah, he'll be adjusting for a while. Okay, so then I do a little X right here, and that holds everything really nicely and tight. Okay, so, and then I think when I, look at that, I eyeballed that perfectly. Jeez, daggone good. All right, cool. So that is how I finished the bag right there. And so that project is, oh my gosh, I'm finishing a project. That is an unusual occurrence, I feel like, lately in my household. Okay, Lucy's quilt. So Lucy picked out her fabrics. I'm going to use a 3-yard quilt pattern. And I have been dying to try out this brand new pattern that is using curves. And so it's this Curve Appeal book. She has 8 different patterns in this book. They are all 3-yard quilt patterns, so they come out lap size 3-yard quilt. But the lovely thing about 3-yard quilt books is that they always give you how much you would need if you were going to do a twin or a queen king sized quilt. And so I am going to do a twin for Lucy, and I am going to do the tulip quilt. So I am doing this quilt right here. I struggle with curves, I admit that. And so I was kind of curious as to whether or not this technique, which is the normal technique for doing curves, would work for me, okay? And so I always do a sample block. And so I'm good. I'm feeling like okay. But I honestly, this is my sample block, so I have to be upfront that I did do the block and then say, nope, that did not work. Going back to the drawing board and realizing that I needed really to square down those blocks. So I took the whole thing apart because it was okay, but not really. Like, I still have some issues right here that I want to try and practice on getting that tulip back together, or a little closer together. You wouldn't see it on a regular quilt once it's done, but I know it now. And so
and then also you had some confusion based on what the illustration showed as the final.
Yes. So the illustration was showing, because I was like, well, this still doesn't look right. And Will's like, because that looks like the finished block. So in the book, she has down what it should look like as the finished block. The finished block would take out my 1/4 inches, and so this little part right here that just didn't look right on the picture, that goes away with your finished block. Well, that makes total sense. Thank you, Will. So, and the other one, yeah, I mean, I'm still feeling like I'm just not looking like the pictures look, and so I'm still not quite doing this right, which gives me an opportunity to really practice. So that's good. Okay, so we'll practice, and if I'm doing it wrong, please someone comment in the comments that says, oh no, it would be nice if you don't say, oh, you're doing it completely wrong. But perhaps if you say something, because I'm like sensitive lately, constructive criticism, you know, oh, perhaps if you tried it this way, which is what I try to do with my kids. I'm sensitive lately.
There has been lots of unconstructive criticism going on throughout this whole process. So
yes, there has been a lot of just, especially I think everyone's getting tired, and so we're getting a little snippy with each other. It's like, okay, stop. Okay. So the first thing I did, because I am using 4 colors instead of 3 colors, because a 3-yard quilt is 3 colors, I am using 4 colors, and I am going to use this gorgeous, she loved this, it is a,
Sun in the Clouds
it
fabric.
is a sun, it's a beautiful, like, morning sunrise type of print. And so I am going to use this as the big blocks, and she complemented all of the colors within the quilt with these lovelies right here. And so I am going to alternate my tulips. Okay, so the tulips in the book are 2 colors. You know, you either get a pink tulip or a blue tulip or a pink tulip, and I am going to alternate. So this is how I did it. Okay. You start by cutting a strip, and this is with every single block in the book, okay? And so you start by getting a strip, and you're going to take, I did it this way. I'm sure there are easier ways to do it, but this is how I did it. I went ahead and took my pattern piece, because she has patterns for all of them, and I went ahead and took my pattern piece and laid it on my block, or on my thing, and I had a friction pen here. Oh, good, thank you. I know I had one. Okay, I'm using a friction pen that will erase with heat. And it doesn't matter because it's on the cut line anyway. So even if even if it doesn't erase completely, or if it does the little white thing that people say it does, and we have seen that white thing. The other thing that they say it does is it will show back up if it gets cold.
It's only if you never wash it.
Right. And then, but it goes away with heat again, so it's not, someone said I used it on a wedding dress. Not good. Okay, so this is what I did. I went and copied my pattern.
On a quilt, though, I mean, like with this, if you're doing the cut line, it's going to be inside the quilt.
Yeah, you won't even see it. In fact, I haven't even taken it off the other pieces yet. I mean, it's off that because I was ironing that, but. Okay, so I'm just going to do the pink. I'm going to show you how I did it. And then I did the same thing. Oh, I could do the same thing with this. Okay, so, and then I went and I did 2 pinks there, and it shows you exactly how to lay that out. And so all I'm doing is doing a little bit of a trace here. Whoops, fingers in the way. And then to cut it out, and so I did this with the 3 colors. And so what I will probably do is I will probably, I'm going to switch this to here, and I would do another one, okay? So you have them like that. And it shows you exactly how to do that in the book. I will continue to probably do these about 6 blocks at a time because I want to make sure I'm alternating all 6 patterns. And so, because I can get a whole combination, I probably could get 9 different combinations. Anyway, I haven't figured that out yet. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is cut this out. And so...
So you're actually doing 4 there, right?
I am doing 4 here because I'm doing them reversed. And I can't remember in the book if that's how it says to do it. So, you know, I may be completely showing you wrong.
I don't know if they can see on camera that your fabric is folded.
So I have 2 pieces, and that way I'm getting 4 cut out at the same time, which was really nice because then I could do what I'm getting ready to do. Okay, and then to cut it, I could easily use my scissors if I wanted to, but I can also easily use my rotary cutter. And so I don't have, be careful because you do not have any guard for your fingers. But I just go in with my seam ripper. I mean, I think it's time for coffee. Don't y'all think it's time for coffee?
It's always time for coffee.
Willard says it's always time for coffee. Oh, he's got a mic on. I don't need to repeat everything he says. You know what we also have been talking about? Okay, so we have one Wednesday left. It's Wednesday night, and we have what before Christmas, and then we have
Christmas is a Wednesday, and New Year's is a Wednesday.
Right.
So we won't be back till in the evenings until January, the second week of January.
So
you all could have Christmas off, you know, and not do a live.
well, we are right, and we are.
I'll be on the road.
Right. We have the entire family, like all the kids. We didn't realize that, you know, now that they're older, we never assumed that they would come to us for the holidays. And yet all of them will be here. And they want to come. I mean, like, our children want to come visit us. I feel so blessed. So they are all coming up after Christmas. And so because, I mean, like, we even have Hannah coming in from Newfoundland. Newfoundland.
Yes.
Thank you. From Newfoundland.
It's
so,
triple new.
It's triple new.
Yeah.
Okay.
New Newfoundland.
New Newfoundland. So we even have Hannah coming in from Newfoundland. So it's like, okay, this is really cool. So we're going to do something we used to do when we were young, when the kids were young. Every Christmas, we would go to Dollywood. And we haven't done that in 8 years. And so, I mean, like, the kid, Derek, my youngest, he is like, really? Really? We're going to go? I'm like, yep. And I think we're going to get him a season pass so he can go all year long. But, so all this to tell you that we're going to be closed. And we're going to spend time with family. And we're really, really looking forward to that. So, I don't know how we haven't figured all that out, but I think we're going the 27th or the 28th to Dollywood. So that means that we might be taking that whole week, really, from Christmas to New Year's to be with family. And we haven't taken a vacation in
Right. Christmas Eve is
ever.
Tuesday. I guess we could have a short day for that, just in case somebody's got that quilting emergency that they
Right?
need to
No.
stuff a stocking.
No, you'll be all right. Everybody's good. Although we have lots and lots of little things on the wall over there if you need to stuff stockings.
And then, you know, if you have an actual quilting emergency after Christmas, please hang up and dial 911.
Right? An actual quilting emergency. Yes, I might even get to sew some. That would be nice. Okay, so here's what I did. I took my little tulips and I laid them all out so that I could sort of see where I was going with this, okay? And so for each tulip, I have, that's the wrong way. No, that's the wrong way. Okay, I'm going to go this way. This is how I did it last night. Okay, so I have that, and then I have this. And so you can see quickly how I could have more combinations than what I have here. And so, because I could make this, so I could have like 9 or 10 different combinations.
I believe mathematically it's only 9.
Okay, I could have 9 different combinations with 3 different colors. Is that right? I can only have
Possibly.
9?
Yes, because you could have actually.
Because that could be blue.
You could have blue on pink. You could have purple on pink. Now you can only have 6 because 3 of the 9 combinations would be blue on blue, pink on pink, and purple on purple.
Whoa. He's right. So right now I only have 3 of them. Okay. Whoops. Here we go. And so Lanny, I think, is gonna, or how I have it. We definitely are working on getting a new sound system. We apologize, guys. Okay, and then so you can see how I could have 3 more combinations of color. Okay, that's what I want to try, and I want to have different colored tulips all over her quilt. Okay. Next thing I'm going to do is show you how I do the pinning and stuff for putting these together. Okay, so I am going to take one of them. Hey, Kerfuffle, you are just in time. I'm going to show you how to use the stripology to, after I sew this. Okay, so what I do is I have 2 pieces. So I have this part, and I'm going to fold that in half. And I'm just going to make a little crease there. But I do find it nice and helpful, especially with just starting this process. Once I get I don't know, there's like 20 blocks here, maybe even more because I'm doing a twin size quilt. Once I get that done, I will have this down really well. Okay, so I'm folding this part in half as well. So now I have a nice little crease right there, and I'm going to go ahead and mark that. It just made it easier when I was putting it together last night. Okay. And so I have a little mark there, and I have a little mark here. Now, I am using fabric glue stick. It is a R&K by, what's her name? God, it's a bad morning.
I don't know. What's her name? I can't pull that one out of my head.
Alex. Laney's going to find it on the thing, maybe.
Alex
if not,
Rodriguez.
Alex Anderson. Alex Anderson from R&K. It's her fabric glue stick. But you do not need this, okay? You can use Elmer's. This is nice because it is a long, and it's mini and that type of thing. So it's nice. I got it because I was trying it out, and so I still have it. So what I am going to do is I am going to use the glue stick to put some glue on my curve. And I don't know where I learned this. I've been doing it this way for years. I wish I could remember who taught it to me. It was probably Kimberly Zimmerman. Maybe it was her. Okay, so what I'm going to do, first thing first, I'm going to line up my lines, and I'm going to go ahead and pin that because the glue is wonderful, but it's not perfect. Okay, and if I'm going to take, if I'm going to be manipulating this a little bit, I don't want the progress that I just made to go away. So now what I'm doing is I'm going to start by going to the end here and lining that up, okay? And then I'm going to line up my edges with both pieces, and they'll just nicely glue down. I say that, but I've got a little, there you go. There you go. And so I'll do this again so that you can see it. I've got a little curvy thing in there, okay? So, and then I go to the other side. So I did half, okay? And once I feel like, okay, good, I got that lined up pretty good, go on. Glue's sticking a little bit better than it should be today. I go ahead and stick a pin in just because there's stress on this area. I don't want to put all the pressure on that glue to hold that in place.
Pins are your friends.
Yes, pins are your friends. So then I go to the other end and line up my edges. It's giving me a little, oh goodness, you're gluey today. I know you're supposed to be gluey today, but whoo, you're gluey today. Okay, and so it's just a matter of, so this is definitely a step I would not skip, okay? And so doing several of them at the same time and then taking them over to the sewing machine is the wise thing to do, because then you're getting, I would never try to do this without pinning or gluing all these together. And then when I go in to sew, I'm going to sew from this guy up, because this guy's going to be the one that's doing the whole trying to blend in. Okay, so I'm going to do that one more time just so that you can see what I did. Okay, so now I have my little pieces there. My pins are in totally wrong. Okay, I normally will go with my pins going out to the sewing machine. So maybe I'll change that in a minute, or maybe I'll just say, okay, good, the glue's going to hold when I get there. Okay, so first thing I do, right sides together, fold in half. Get my little crease mark. Right now, I'm marking it just because I'm not comfortable yet. I mean, by the time I've done 10, I'll be like, oh my gosh, just get it over with. I'm an instant gratification quilter. This is a twin size quilt. This might take me a little bit. There we go. Okay, so I've marked. I glue this piece because this is the piece that's sort of doing all that. And I am going to glue here.
We'll have to figure out how to set up one of the travel mates in the back seat of the car.
So I can just sew.
So you can sew while you're going over the mountain roads to Dollywood.
So we have to go the long way. Not long way, but we have to go the way through Hot Springs. And Hot Springs, and that area was, the reason why we had to go that way is because 40 is still closed. I mean, 40 was seriously damaged in the storm. And so we'll have to go Hot Springs way. Well, we have very fond memories of just about every single child throwing up in the car on the way to Dollywood, going through the Hot Springs route. So, yeah, I think we'll put all the ones that used to get sick in one car, and the rest of us are going to drive in the other car. Okay, so now I'm going to take a pin, I have matched up those lines so you can see how funky it looks. Okay? And before you even do that, you can see how, like, this doesn't quite fit in. Like, you know, there's just a whole bunch of stuff happening there. Okay? So now I always start by going to the end and matching up my ends. And then finagling those pieces together just like that. So there are other ways to do curves. You could do curves applique. Just take a circle, stick it on the thing. There's a really another cool way that you could do it using interfacing that I have done in the past. That was fun. But I really do want to kind of master this. I want to figure out, why sometimes I get this right and sometimes I don't. And so I am going to figure it out with this quilt. Okay. But this is not where I mess up. Hello, good morning. This morning I am working on a curve appeal quilt. It is a 3-yarder from Donna Robertson, although this one is one of their new folks.
Mac
I will
Cox.
review right there. And so she has them. And with each quilt, they tell you how to turn that 3-yard quilt into a twin, queen, or king-sized quilt. And so if you really, really like that pattern, like I really, really like this pattern, I'm going to use it to create a quilt for Lucy. All right. And I did the pins right on this one. So I'm going to switch this pin around. That way while I'm sewing I can pull the pin can help stay in there and hold that glue down for as long as it needs to. Okay. So what this does for me, that glue helps me see that I have over here a few pieces that are folded over just a little bit. Catherine Zimmerman. It was Catherine Zimmerman. She is a wonderful, gorgeous quilter. And she's won a ton of awards with her quilting. So we were at a show, I can't remember where it was, and I was just amazed at this one quilt. So I was standing there and just staring at this one quilt. And it takes a lot at this point because we go to so many quilt shows for me to like be in awe. And I was like, wow, this one is really cool. And guess who it was by? I was like, oh, I know her. Yes. Anyway, so she did, it wasn't quite this method, but she was using a stick to help bring out those little pieces that were, and she was just, working those out so that they wouldn't be a problem in the end. Okay, so I'm going to have Lanny move us over to the sewing machine so I can show you how I stitch this. And Will's like looking at the magazine or the book now.
Well, I'm looking at the book because I know that there are, and you have not succeeded in or enjoyed using the curve rulers they're sort of designed like a stripology to have multiple channels to.
Right.
And I just wanted to see if these were, if the pattern was calling for standard size where the ruler may be helpful to people.
Right.
And in this case, there's 4 and 6 inch, and that's standard, but then one of them calls for a 4 3/4. So that might be a little difficult. Just because knowing your daughter's experience, there are some people out there that should not be encouraged to use a rotary cutter without rulers.
We love you, Rebecca. Whoa. You've been using this machine. I said that because it went really, really fast.
Hey, if there's a really long line to sew, why take your time?
Right. I agree. This isn't the machine I was using yesterday. All right, cool. I didn't set up an iron.
I think you can just finger press it today.
Okay, I'll just finger press it today. Look at me, like chain piece too. This is different than yesterday. I was doing each one all separate. See, I'm going to get better at it.
And I'm going to give you a 10-minute warning.
Oh, you're going to give me a 10-minute warning? Oh dear. What? Gosh, really?
Funny, as we were setting up, Allison said, I think we'll be done in 15 minutes
I'll be done in 15 minutes today.
Took 15 minutes just to make a smoothie.
It did take 15 minutes. It never takes me that long at home. I am not awake today. I think that's the problem. Okay. Where in the world is that thread coming from? Whee! And back to here. Keep up with me, Lanny. Okay. So the seam, or the folding really just wants to go right out like that. And so you can see how gorgeous using that glue works. So I've got the curve down.
But you can also see, just from what you've finger pressed, that going back and squaring.
That's where, yes. And so I think that's where I messed up. Well, I didn't. I went ahead and pulled it apart. I recommend anytime you do a quilt that you do one block at a time until you are certain that you have gotten it right with measurements, the look, the everything.
And always square as you go.
And always square as you go. And so, you know, it didn't say square to a 4-inch. I mean, it does say make 4-inch, but it didn't square. So I have been using the halves for you guys, though. I'm going to use a whole today, and Lanny may be able to squeeze in here to make it. I am going to just press just a little bit more. There we go. And so I also, it does not, at least I did not catch if it said, you know, I usually press to what the fabric wants to press. There may be a time in here where I'm sort of like, okay, maybe I need to press the other way and make it, force it happen. So my whole numbers are here on the black. And so I am going to line up. I want to make sure that I have, I mean, I like to have like a 1/4 inch-ish coming from my color, and that may be where I'm going wrong. And so, and I'm just, it's not much, but it is nicely squaring that baby up, and that will make it, if nothing else, easier to work with.
Well, one of the things people don't realize when quilting is that if you do not square, the smallest deviation will expand every time you put a new block on. So let's say you start with a 1/16 of an inch. Just that little 1/16 of an inch is how unsquare your block is. By the time you've got 4 blocks on, it's off by a 1/4 of an inch. And if you've got a quilt that is, you know, 30 or 40 blocks wide, you've thrown off your quilt by inches now.
Right. So I may not be squaring them right, but I am not seeing a different way to be able to do that. So as I continue this process next week, I promise on Wednesday to keep you informed as to whether or not my squaring process is really where I need to be. or if I need to change that up. That is something that is not clear in the pattern. And so it is throwing, it perhaps is throwing me off just a little bit. But it gives me my starting point, and this is only my second block of the quilt. And so let's see, how are you going to go? You're going to go this way. And so I will be stitching across that line. And then it will look like that. And that will be the top of my tulip, and then I'll do the bottom of the tulip, and I will have at least 6 colors done for you on Wednesday, so that, or 6 combinations done for you on Wednesday, so that you can sort of see where I'm going with the quilt, and then how it's looking. So yeah. So come on in, Will, and
before we let you go,
yes,
I'm going to show off our
right.
work from yesterday. We're already, we're ready to move on from Christmas and on. We are now moving on to St. Patty's Day with this beautiful Celtic Fractures from Northcott, and we have kits available online and
this looks like
store.
It's almost a full quilt.
It is a twin.
It is a twin. You
Yep.
could easily make this a full quilt.
And yeah, as a matter of fact, there are coordinates that are not in the kit that you could add on because the kit has the darker version of this, and it is, we have this wonderful lighter blue and purple here, and then there's another coordinate that's not in the quilt that could make a nice border.
I see why I got the whole kit.
And there's even that one that could easily be added on to another border or just expand the sides since it's already rather long.
And then we've got some gorgeous blenders to go with that.
And the fun thing I thought when putting the kit together is that this is the binding strips. So it is bound with this wonderful Celtic knot that will go around the edge. So
oh, wow.
It's going to be a beautiful...
Ooh, look at this one.
It'll be a beautiful addition to anybody's house, even if you do not have Irish.
And how much is the kit, Will?
The kit is $99.99 for a twin-size quilt.
Remember that over $100 is free shipping.
Yeah, so you have to spend one more penny.
Right. He screwed that up. Yeah, he screwed that up.
Well, you know what? I can go back and make it 105. But wait a minute, that eats up the free shipping. So.
Yeah. Right. So, yeah, isn't that gorgeous? We have some nice stuff in here. We have stopped. I think we're stopped for the year getting stuff, right?
Yeah, that's it for the year, and
yeah.
Our next shipment. I think our next scheduled fabric will be the Bigfoot fabric coming in January from QT.
Yeah. So thank you so much for joining us this morning. I hope you have some wonderful beverage with you and that you've actually had time to drink it and you're awake at this point.
And in this weather,
Obviously
nobody's going to hold an Irish coffee against you because it's already St. Patty's Day.
Right? Anyway. I hope you guys have a great few days. We'll see you on Wednesday evening. Enjoy your morning and your day. And happy sewing and keep putting those pieces together. We'll see